Alright folks, this is Xearrik and this is my review of Cyberpunk Edgerunners episode 7. And hey, we had another opening that didn't start with the credits. So a pre-credit opening, and this time nothing extra crazy happened and the action started pretty much right away. So maybe I'm wrong about that right there. In just some episodes they just randomly want that thing. I actually forgot about most of his crew yesterday. I remembered the mask girl, but other than that, I forgot the other people. I forgot the little crazy girl and the freaking... I forgot the mustache guy until later. He's their driver, apparently. I didn't, like, he's pretty new, so... And then, I like how they actually add a red shirt. They add a red shirt to the crew. I wonder if it's a coincidence that he had a red weapon instead of a red shirt. Huh? Like, I don't know. That might not be a coincidence. I gotta keep my eye out for that, for new characters who are introduced, and if they have like a red weapon of some sort and then they immediately die. He even had a red knife. Like he had like some sort of red hilted machete. Like, yeah, something's probably up with that. So yeah, he has a new crew and he's already doing jobs. Look at him. And yeah, by the way, look at him. Why is he so buff? Like, he got buff fast. This dude is big. How long was the time skip? That girl, she looks the exact same. So either she's like fully grown or like not that much time has passed. But like, he got buff fast. I thought that he had to have some meat on his bones before they started putting extra stuff on there. But what I'm guessing is that he's just all chromed out. He doesn't have that much flesh left is my guess. So, well, yeah, and you kind of see that when he's on the operating table. I'm not going to show that image because it's maybe a little bit more risky. And even though they didn't show anything, or risque, they say, right? Man, and... they really are leaning into that little girl being crazy ass. Oh, crazy ass girl. Like, she's always with her big old, you can always, like, you can see the reds around her because she doesn't have like the whites around her eyes. Instead, you see the red around her eyes at all times. Like, she's like that's typically like signs of a crazy ass. Oh, crazy ass. Most characters, if you notice, even in animation, they tend to have the irises of their eyes resting on the top or the bottom of the side. You can very rarely see the whites around their eyes completely. And normally when you can, it's because they're shocked or they're psycho. But yeah, right off the bat, they show David is all chromed out and super muscular, and if you could call those muscles. I guess they technically are muscles, right? They're just electric muscles or inorganic muscles. There you go. And he's already doing jobs with his new crew. That's pretty cool. And the weird little girl has a crush on him. I don't know. That's starting to make David seem a bit more like a Mary Sue, which is kind of, you know, he's already got this undefined power that he didn't really earn, and he can get all these cybernetic implants that make him super powerful. And, you know, making everyone like him on top of that it's kind of bordering a bit on the Mary Sue side. Come on, chill out a little bit. David doesn't have to be perfect in every way, okay? He can have flaws. People can dislike him. Let's go. Come on. And so, yeah, David met with the old Four Eyes. Old Four Eyes and David meeting up again. I have a feeling that old Four Eyes might be someone that David has to face off against at some point, and something about his four eyes will make him see better or something, so David can't outrun his eyes or something. I don't know. But also it might just be the gimmick of him because his henchmen had like compound eyes, which just in case you guys don't know, the compound eyes are like eyes within an eye. Right? Like, it's an eye made up of tons of different eyes, basically. Easiest, simplest way to explain it. So just like that fella said in the previous episode, he's gonna work for someone. He's either working for Milsec, he's working for Arasaka, he's gonna be working for someone. And I guess he's leaning into it now. It doesn't matter that much to him. And there are a lot of full body shots of David without any clothes, so you can see all his like super crazy chromed up stuff, or what do they call it? Hold on. Steel. He said it's difficult to spot the Xearrik amongst all that steel. I prefer chrome. Even though it's not chrome, it just sounds better. And yeah, I probably won't be showing any of those pictures either because, well, he doesn't have any clothes, and neither does Lucy in most of the shots because Lucy's in it mostly too. There's a lot of this exposition in this, just like in Game of Thrones. They really are leaning into that. Other than that, not much happened except for the big epic end where Lucy talks about where she came from. And once again, we're shown the net world, and it just looks kind of lame. However, one cool thing about it this time is that they go over the lore fairly quickly, but we learn about some more of the lore of the cyberpunk world. So that's pretty cool, learning about all that stuff and hearing it. So for the viewers who haven't seen any of the other media, this is going to be a first time being told about rogue AIs and the not dragons, I'm just thinking about something else, and the daemons and all the weird stuff going on underneath. There's like some crazy net stuff, and there's more to it than that. I can't remember what the group is called, but if Arasaka is trying to fiddle around with the old net and get in there and fiddle with all these things, there's a group, I can't remember what they're called, that they're gonna run afoul of. And because there's a group that basically protects that stuff, because that stuff is dangerous. There's tons of rogue AIs and things like that in there that people are worried about, like world-ending worried about type of stuff. So if I remember correctly, there's like a group that go after anybody real hard that's fiddling around with that, trying to figure things out inside that place. They don't want anybody to do anything with that. It's like, it's super hyper radioactive, and they're like, stay away, don't mess with it, and if you mess with it, we're just gonna kill you. So I wonder if they're gonna bring in some of those people and actually, give us more lore with that. That's my favorite parts of the episodes normally, because the plot advances so fast. I like the characters and where it's going with them most of the time, but I love it when they start dropping in the lore of the cyberpunk world, because it reminds me of things I forgot. Like I remembered the daemons, but I forgot about the rogue AIs. Like I don't know why, I just completely forgot about them until they mentioned them. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. And then once I remembered that there was a group that dealt with that stuff that was all about that. So yeah, some of my favorite parts of the show is when they drop in the old lore and it reminds me of the stuff that I had forgotten. So yeah, we learned Lucy was trained from super young childhood to be an epic net runner of epicness along other children that die. Or maybe they didn't all die. Lucy didn't look back. She never looked back as all her friends were dying. So yeah, and bad news. Like, you seem to keep dropping hints about my theory about the way the show's gonna end. It might actually end up being that way. Lucy said, you're always, same old David, you're always chasing other people's dreams. Her saying that when her dream is to go to the moon, and them just keep killing characters over and over again. And then after that, shortly after that, you see her go all crazy, glowy eyes, and and it turns out she's some sort of secret assassin that Arasaka might still have control over somehow or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe she was infected when she was in the net. I'm not really sure what's going on. My guess is that she's been this way for a while. Oh, I just had a thought while editing. You know what it could be? It could be a rogue AI that took over Lucy. It could be a rogue AI. I was listening back to the recording, and when I mentioned rogue AI, I was like, oh, that could be the thing that's inside Lucy. It even showed a scene when she was a kid, and when the rogue AI was killing all the kids, it actually was like, it looked like it was going inside of her back or something. So yeah, that might be the symbol that's on her back too, which yeah, I'm not going to show that symbol. Every time they show that symbol, she's in the buff. So yeah, but yeah, back to my normal recording. People can, or should I say that there's a group, probably Arasaka, that has control over her, and they can just like override and tell her to do evil things. Or maybe she's just an old crazy ass. That's unlikely. I'm pretty sure in most anime and video games, the red glowy eye thing of a character who you knew to be one of the good guys tends to mean that they're temporarily a bad guy. So her mind's probably being controlled somehow. I like that her hair glows too. Like, what's up with that? She's got the super hair glowing power. That's some pretty awesome cybernetics. Other than that, like, nothing much happened that episode, and it was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it mostly because of the fact they mentioned some of the net stuff in the lore, even though I think the net looks pretty dumb. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And I skipped through the credits a little bit. I haven't really ever watched the credits because it actually goes to the next thing. And I'm starting to wonder if the credits that shows all these weird scenes with Lucy walking around and all these weird shots of nothing like this with this weird glowing moon in the sky with a face and everything. Like, what is that? Like, I'm starting to wonder if that's how she sees the world when she's mind controlled or something. I don't know. I like that moon though. Ooh! Well, that was it for today. I enjoyed this episode. Not much to it, just it was a Cyberpunk Edgerunners episode. That's what this show is. I think if someone had to watch only one episode of Cyberpunk Edgerunners to be able to understand what the show is, and they weren't ever allowed to watch any other episodes, this is the episode. I mean, it contains spoiler for the other episodes before it, obviously. But I think this is what Cyberpunk Edgerunners is. Lots of nudity. Lots of gratuitous violence, crazy cyberware and neon stuff all over the place, and futuristic stuff with a bleak, crazy world where everyone dies. Yeah, this seems to be the show right here. This is what this episode, I believe, defines what the show is going to be most of the time. Oh yeah, and the job running, them doing the jobs, right? They're edge runners. So I don't really have much else to say other than that. So this is Xearrik. And I'm out.